Welcome to Terrorshewrote. I'm Brittany.
I'm Nicole.
And today we are going to read part 2 of what's the story called?
Lynn's story. I think it's actually my wife's been peeking at me or something, but it's Lynn's story. That's what it is.
I don't know if you guys remember what happened at the end, but Nicole will kind of summarize where we left out just a little bit.
Should we banter first?
We can.
Yeah, let's banter real quick. How are you? How's life?
I'm good, dude. I ran the half marathon 2 days ago, and my legs are still fucked up. My knee is swollen.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't run. I hate running. Running is like the bane of my existence.
Running is the object of all my desires.
How many miles? Is it 10?
13.
13 miles?
13 fucking miles.
How long did it take you?
2 hours and 40 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this was my first time, and I didn't do the proper training, if I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, yeah, I did long distance every weekend. I would like build up my miles. Yeah. But the only problem, I didn't do any strength training. So I fucked up my hip and my knee before the marathon. So
God.
My biggest fear for that race was my knee and my hip were just gonna give out in the beginning. And it did once I hit 4 miles. I'm like, nope. And that was already like 40 minutes in. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. What did I signed up for? My friend was hurting. I was hurting. But then we made it, and I just started bawling my eyes out once I hit the finish line. I'm like, oh my God, I did it. And then when I saw my husband, I cried even harder. I was like, I'm so exhausted. It hurts. I was just crying to him. But then like the next day, I'm like, I want to do another one. I want to sign up for another one.
So I heard you were going to poop yourself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. First, I was going to pee myself after 3 miles. I'm like, you know what? When it was like second mile, I'm like, I have to pee. I'll stop at the first stop, which was like 3 miles in is when there was the first pee station, water station. But then I get there, I'm like, I want it to be like one of those races where they just grab the cup, drink, and throw it on the ground. And I did that. I was like, fuck yeah. But then like as I'm running past it, I was like, I don't have to pee. No, I'm good. Then I felt it. I was like, oh shit. I will have to wait another 3 miles to go to the bathroom. That would be like an hour in my run. But no, I didn't use the restroom at all. The entire run, held in my pee, beginning to end, held in my poop. I did not trust my fart. Never trust the fart. Because apparently we just lose control of our bowel movements when we're running. We don't have control of holding anything in. Luckily I did. I clenched.
Can you imagine like being a caveman and you're running somewhere and you just poop yourself? And maybe that's why they like wear those loin cloths. So it just like falls out.
They have no underwear. They know what they're doing. They probably pooped while standing up back then. Why do we always end up talking about... Dude.
I don't know, it's just a fun topic.
Last episode we were talking about what, you touching your booty hole and freaking vomiting on me. You don't remember that?
I don't remember like touching my specific booty hole.
Oh yeah, never mind. You were talking like on the husband's perspective.
Oh. Why are we fucking
I can't read.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, to answer your question, yes, I almost pooped myself on the run, and my friend said that she saw a woman, like, with a stained butt, so we're assuming that she did poop herself during this run. But we were so close to the end that we're like, you know what? She probably didn't care either. She's like, I'm close to the end. I don't give a fuck. Anyways, yes, the run was fantastic. I have no regrets, and I would love to do another one. No regrets. My knee has regrets.
I hate to admit it, but I have a no regrets tattoo. Like, not like the actual no regrets, but I have a misspelled tattoo.
No shit.
Yeah, the worst part is it's on my chest. So it's a Spider-Man quote, and everything is fine except for the word doesn't. It's docent.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I told myself when I started getting tattoos that I wasn't going to get any script because of this reason.
I only have one word on my body, and it was like that typical. My first ever tattoo is on my rib, and it just says like a simple word, beautiful. My mom's gonna hear this and know the secret now. But that was my only way I can convince her to let me have my first tattoo when I was 20. Yes, I asked permission, even if I was 20. I'm like, can I have a tattoo? She's like, no, you're not allowed. I'm like, but it means like it's just beautiful, just to make me feel beautiful. No, I just wanted a tattoo. That's all I wanted. So she only accepted that on my rib. Now I have like a whole dragon.
You have a dragon on your
Yeah,
side?
I have a dragon on my back. And then I have like vines here on my shoulder. But that's pretty much. Oh, no, and I do have a Japanese word here on my bicep. Ikigai. So where did we leave off?
All right. We left off. He's staying at his brother's house and he wakes up and Lynn's just fucking drooling on the window. Busted out, just drooling.
There you are, honey.
And then she's texting him a bunch of shit, dozens of texts like, can we talk? I love you. Please call me.
Send nudes.
Send nudes. All right. I ended up staying with Chris and Rebecca for another night. I didn't wake up yesterday until afternoon, and thankfully I didn't see Lynn's face watching me through the window. I sat for a while trying to figure out what to do next. I didn't want to go home, but I felt that I owed it to Lynn to help her if I could. Hadn't I sworn an oath to love and honor her through sickness and in health? Clearly, she was very sick. If she was sick, I had to try and get her the help she needed. But I didn't even know where to start. I didn't want to call the police, and besides, what the hell was I going to tell them? That my wife was peeking at me? That she was being creepy? As bizarre as she'd been, she still hadn't committed any crime. Not yet, anyway. The police would have probably said that I was overreacting, but this wasn't some prank. It felt wrong. Dangerous even. Like something sinister lurked behind her smile. Chris didn't think we should involve the police just yet. He offered instead to go with me, and I readily accepted. He reasoned that calmly talking to her, trying to coax her into going willingly was the best recourse. I agreed to do it his way. At least I wouldn't be going into that house alone. We drove over this morning, just after breakfast. When we pulled into the driveway, my stomach began doing somersaults. Her car wasn't there, but I still didn't let my guard down. The front door was ajar, and for a split second, I thought we'd see her eyes staring through the gap. I was shaking and starting to sweat. Chris, however, was fine. He waited for me to open the door, his hands in his pockets, like he was going on a fucking stroll through the park. I envied his ignorance. I mean, I wouldn't react the same way his brother did. Actually, I'd be fucking shitting myself. I'd make you go alone, honestly. I'd be like, sorry, I can't.
Nicole, please.
No,
please, Nicole.
Burn the house down. It's fine.
With my husband in there?
Yeah, dude. Fuck it. There's something wrong with it. Just burn it. Oh no, a gas leak.
I already see you like pouring gasoline on my house.
Somebody call the fire department.
Oh no. I'm like, what are you doing?
Grabs a lighter, flicks it. Oh no, where are the cops?
No. Help! Somebody! Jesus Christ.
Oh no, there was a spider.
There was a spider, so you burned my house down?
Yes.
Honestly, thank you. Thank you.
You don't need it anyways. It's fine.
You're right. Who needs a house?
Okay, here we go. I pushed the door open and was immediately hit with the stench of rot. Chris smelled it too. He walked in the house behind me with his nose scrunched up. The house was deadly quiet and dark despite being 10 in the morning. All the curtains were closed up tight, refusing to allow any sunlight in. If I hadn't left it just 2 days prior, I'd have thought the house to be abandoned. We moved through each room, carefully checking any place that she might hide, occasionally calling her name. Where the fuck are you looking under the couch? Aren't we looking for your wife? He was looking at me like I was a moron. I mean, I'd look at you like a moron too. What do you expect to find in the couch cushions? Like some fucking pennies, dude? Chill.
Yo.
There's the remote. I've been looking for that.
That's what I was looking for. God. Why do you keep asking me questions?
I lost my vape, so I just had to... Let's just go upstairs, I whispered. He shook his head, but followed me up the stairs to check the bathroom and spare bedroom. On the way up, my shoes crunched over pieces of glass that looked to be littered over a few of the steps. I noticed that one of Lynn and my wedding portraits that hung on the wall along the staircase had been smashed. The frame hung crookedly, all the glass removed. I stared at the picture, a lump forming in my throat. We had taken the photos just after leaving the church, after saying our vows. She looked so beautiful in her white gown. I looked at Lynn's beautiful face. I never dreamed her face would ever be a source of terror for me. We climbed the rest of the steps and checked the spare bedroom, but it looked completely untouched. I was hesitant to go into the bathroom, my fear from that night coming back to me all at once. Chris noticed and offered to go in by himself, but I couldn't let him do that. So we walked in together, checking the closet and the shower. The bathroom looked as if it hadn't been touched since the night I left. I don't think she's here, Ben. Why don't you pack some clothes and we'll try coming back tomorrow or something? I nodded and went into her bedroom and shoved some clothes into a duffel bag. When I checked inside her closet, I came across the source of the smell and gagged. Chris took one look and lost all color in his face. He had to go stand by the stairs to get away from the sight and smell. I gazed down in shock at what lay inside my bedroom closet, soaking into the rug were at least a dozen eyeballs, all carefully laid out in pairs.
Oh.
Yeah. Some were as large as a quarter, while others were as tiny as a marble. I stared down at the eyes she'd collected from small animals, and I wondered how she'd gotten them all, and shuddered at the thought. Man, I thought I had it bad with Becca's shoe addiction, but fuck me. Your wife's in here collecting eyeballs.
Okay. Thanks, Chris. We needed that.
Fuck, Chris.
We needed that. Thank you.
Some comic relief. That's how he, processes trauma.
Like, your wife is kind of weird, bro. Making jokes.
I mean, same.
I'm like, your wife is quite unique. Huh? All those eyeballs. That's cool.
Wow. That one's blue.
It smells unique in here.
Oh my god, is that heterochromia? So beautiful.
Like, Nicole, now's not the time.
But I think we should go, he called from the hall. I'm getting nauseous. All right, I grabbed my duffel and shut the closet door on my new nightmare. I stepped out into the hall and took a deep breath of air. I could taste the rot on my tongue and I couldn't help but gag. Who the fuck lines up eyeballs in their closet like that? Chris mumbled. I tried to tell you she needed help, I said. She doesn't need help, Ben. She needs a fucking exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, bitch, she does. You coming or what? I can't stand the smell any. His words died in his throat and his eyes grew wide with fear. I didn't ask him why. I could feel it. Someone was watching me, and I didn't think it was the eyes in the closet. I turned around, my eyes slowly scanning the bedroom. Christ, I whispered, as I finally saw what we missed. Under the bed, curled on her side, watching us with the excitement of a kid on Christmas morning, was my wife.
Ugh.
She held her hands together just under her chin, and they were shaking eagerly. Now that she knew she'd been found, I could hear the quiet noises she was making, a sort of hiccuping sound in her throat, as if the excitement was just too much for her. It was unnerving to say the least, wide eyes and that same huge smile. Everything in me told me to run, but I forced it away. This was my wife. No matter how twisted, she was still the woman I married. I had to help her. Lynn, I said softly. She didn't respond, but her head bobbed back and forth in two quick little movements as if she were nodding. Baby, I just want to help, okay? Can you let me do that? I had taken a single step forward, approaching her like some kind of dangerous animal. I love you, Lynn, I said softly, taking another step closer. She let a tiny moan escape from her wide open mouth, and I had to resist the urge to run. Her shoulders were starting to quiver, and her eyes grew as large as saucers. I crouched down so I could see her better, and immediately saw the blood. Her hands were covered in it.
Oh my
They
God.
trembled more the closer I got, as if she were barely able to contain herself. Lynn, are you hurt? You're bleeding. She bobbed her head again, her bloody fingers moving up and down as if playing an invisible piano. They occasionally grazed her chin, leaving smears of blood on her skin. I wanted to recoil in disgust. The smell that was coming off of her was revolting. I could feel the vomit trying to climb up my throat. Her lips were dry and stretched thin, blood seeping between the cracks. This bitch needs chapstick.
Oh, that's what you got from all that. That's what you...
I told you it's my trauma response.
I was like, hey, Lynn, here's the divorce papers.
Here, Lynn, here's some Blistex.
Some Blistex. You're good. You kind of need it.
I don't think Burt's Bees is going to cut it. I knew she wouldn't come out on her own, but I didn't want to leave her in the state she was in. I scooted closer and reached out to her. The excited hiccuping sound got louder and her hands shook, fingers flexing. It was then that I could see the blood oozing from in between her fingers. "Oh my God, Lynn, you're bleeding," I said. Instinctively, I reached out to take her hand, but before I could even touch her, her hand sprang out towards me. A sharp pain shot through my arm, and I fell back on my ass. My arm burned, and I could see the blood dripping down onto the carpet. I looked back at her in shock and saw her grinning madly, her fingers clutching a large shard of glass. "You all right in there?" Chris asked from behind me. Chris,
You
no.
good? You good?
I just said, "Lynn, are you okay? You're bleeding." Of course nothing is okay, Chris. God damn it.
Chris, you were supposed to be a good, what's the word? He was supposed to be helping his brother?
Right. This motherfucker is like oblivious. This is the epitome of a oblivious man.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
yeah.
ha, ha, ha,
Are you
everything is
good in
fine.
there? You
Like,
good in there?
Shut the fuck up, Barney.
Oh, was she bleeding? That's crazy.
So fucking stupid. Okay. We appreciate men and all that you do for us. Anyways, I turned my head slightly and nodded to him, cradling my arm to my chest. When I turned back to face Lynn, I saw that her focus had shifted. She wasn't looking at me anymore, and she wasn't smiling anymore either. She was staring past me, her eyes glaring at Chris the way a hungry lion might stare at an antelope. Her mouth was still hanging open, but it was twisted into a snarl. I got to my feet and began walking backwards down the hall, afraid to take my eyes off her. "Are you bleeding?" Chris asked. The moment the words left his mouth, Lynn started fast scooting out from under the bed, the glass shards still in her fist. Okay, so I know this isn't what she's doing, but all I can imagine when, like, it says scooting is like a dog scooting its butt.
Back to the butt, scooting dragging its ass on the carpet. That's what you're visualizing in your head about.
Yeah. Like, I know it's not what she's doing, but
You're home.
it's fucking hilarious. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
You know what? We'll just say that she was.
I can't take it seriously anymore. "Chris, run, go," I yelled. He must have been too afraid to move because a second later I felt my back bump into him. He was still standing at the top of the stairs, staring at the horror that was my wife. Lynn had crawled completely out from under the bed and stood in the bedroom door. Her face twisted in anger, her whole body was visibly tense. Blood ran down her fingers and onto the floor. "Jesus, Lynn," Chris said. "You, this fucking guy." "Jesus, Lynn," Chris said. "You, playing hide and seek?"
Oh, come on, Chris.
Dude, he's gotta go to therapy.
Like, hey, do you need like a Band-Aid or something?
This guy, I can't. Honestly, he's my favorite character in here.
Chris is relatable, that's why.
I reached back and pushed him towards the steps. "Move your ass, Chris," I said "Move your ass, Chris," I said as quietly but firmly as I could. Lynn bobbed her head in fast, sharp motions and began to grin, stretching her mouth open wider and wider so that her chin seemed to touch her chest. I heard Chris mutter a prayer, and then he was running down the stairs. I stood at the top of the steps, stuck between the love for a woman who clearly needed serious help and self-preservation. "I only want to help," I said, choking back tears. Her eyes focused on me once again as she slowly lifted the glass, holding it out in front of her. And then she started sprinting towards me, grinning with utter excitement. Thankfully, my body took over and I flew down the stairs, skipping 2 or 3 at a time. I made it to the front door before I felt her leap onto my back, wrapping her arms around my neck. Her open mouth, damn, I was on a roll. Her open mouth next to my ear so that I could hear those terrible hiccuping sounds up close. I shook her off me, knocking her to the floor. I felt a searing pain in my back as she went, but I tore open the front door and bolted to my car. Chris was standing in the front yard talking on the phone with the police. I didn't say a word. I just ran to my car and jumped in. Chris took the hint and followed me, still on the line with 911. I watched the rearview mirror, sure I'd see her there running after us, but I never did. I went straight to the ER and got 11 stitches in my arm and 3 on my back.
Jeez.
Oh, dude, right? It's one fucked up game of hide and seek, Chris said. I'd be so pissed if we were in the ER.
Oh my god.
And this motherfucker's still making jokes. Like, bro.
Like, so that's a fun game, wasn't it?
Just so stupid.
It's kind of different.
The police asked a lot of questions and went back to the house to do a search, but of course, Lynn wasn't there. They advised me to stay with a friend or relative for a while and to file a restraining order as soon as I could, but none of those things would matter. Somehow I just knew. I dropped Chris off at home and went to a motel an hour away. I wanted to put as much distance between me and Lynn as I could. This is where I've been for the last 4 hours. I thought maybe the police would find her. Maybe they'd get her the help she desperately needed. But now I don't think so. Because 40 minutes ago, I got a text from an unknown number. Just 3 words. I found you.
Ah!
And a picture attached. The picture was dark and grainy, but I instantly knew what it was. There's no mistaking my wife's eye. I started typing this out immediately after. I don't know what to do. I'm alone and scared, and I can't help but feel that I'm being watched.
Oh.
And that is Lynn.
Oh my God. She was definitely under his bed. Oh, I have goosebumps. Oh, I got goosebumps.
And she's like, I found you. Don't find me. Go away.
Go away. This isn't fun anymore.
I hate this game.
I hate this game.
I would probably, I guess the whole self-preservation thing, but just end it. Yeah. I'm such a millennial. I said this last episode too. Like, you know what? Just fucking end it. Like, this is fine.
It's not worth it anymore. Just end it now. For one thing, I'm like, why would you want to be alone after all that? I don't get that.
Go to Chris's. Maybe it's because, like, he knows that she knows where he lives. Ooh, you know what I mean?
To be safe. He didn't want his brother and his wife to get hurt, so.
Maybe, I guess. But I wonder, like, were those only animal eyes? You know what I mean? Like, there has to be
human eyes.
I don't think she murdered anybody.
No.
All right.
That story was so freaking good. I wonder if people... What do you guys think? Fiction or nonfiction?
Anyways, what's a story for me?
I do have a story, and this one is something that I have witnessed. This is my sister's story in our house back in... Just a couple of years ago. I won't give you too much details there. But she has a title for this story, and it's called Spirits in My Closet.
Oh, no, not the closet.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I will give you, like, my perspective on when this was happening. Like, it was crazy. Are you fucking ready, Nicole?
I'm fucking ready. Let's go.
Okay. After moving into our new family home and painting my room a few days, maybe a week, I don't exactly remember I had my first night in my room. It was a normal night until the morning when I heard someone whisper, "Excuse me," in my ear. I woke up immediately and no one was there. I'm already sensitive to spirits. I'm used to hearing, seeing, and feeling them around me, so it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. I didn't think of it being a big deal until I noticed my dog refused to come into my room the entire day. The second night, I ended up having a dream. In this dream, I was sleeping the same position I was, but then a lady came out of my closet. She was dressed in a white Edwardian dress? Yeah. That was ruined and her hair was black and short, covering her face. I couldn't move or scream. She was just standing there when another woman came in and told me, "Don't be afraid. She's not an evil spirit. She's just lost and trying to find peace. She hung herself." And that was when I woke up in the morning again. I told my mom and my sister about it. My sister was freaked out and my mom was interested since she's also sensitive to spirits. Yes, I freaked out. I'm like, hell nah. Why did we move here? Why this house? And like, I even noticed we would bring my dog into her room and then my dog would freeze and then run right out.
Oh my God. No.
There's a part of me that never wanted to go in her room ever either. I was never interested in walking in her room, but I never really noticed it because I thought I'm probably just too focused in getting my room set up since we just moved in. But I always walked into my parents' or my brother's room because it was cool, but I just was not interested in going to my sister's room. Okay. On my third night, that's when it started to get crazy. At 3 a.m., I woke up and I couldn't feel or move my body. It felt like my skin was on fire and the smell of rotten eggs started to fill my room. And then it felt like there was a rope around my neck, tightening and tightening, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. I had to fight to move my arm and text my mom to come into my room. And when she came in and turned on the light, all of that went away and I started crying and shaking. My mom had to help me out of the room and I slept in my sister's room for the night. Yeah, so I remember this. I was just sleeping and suddenly the door opens and I just hear my sister crying and them dragging her bed into my room. I'm like, what's happening? She's crying, and I'm like, I don't want to ask. I'm gonna just go to bed. I'll ask tomorrow morning. So she's just weeping in my room. I'm like,
what are you doing here?
You good? I'm like, yay, sleepover, am I right? For a week, I slept on a little mattress on the floor in my parents' room. My mom called a priest, and he showed up to bless the room because I couldn't step foot without feeling her there draining or choking me. I felt like my energy was being sucked away. And after the priest left, we continued to pray every night in that room. The first night we prayed, we were bringing in a small altar in the room, and as soon as it passed the doorframe, the little glass vase that held a palm cross was thrown off and shattered by the door. We all stood there and looked at each other. My dad giggled and said, huh, she's mad.
Oh, comedic relief. These men.
He was Chris in that moment. Like, yeah, I remember that too. I'm like, I don't want to go in. I don't want to go in your room. And I remember that rotten egg smell, because I remember I walked in and I'm like, damn, did you fart? It smells. It smelled like, it definitely smelled like something rotting. And I've never smelled that in her room ever. She's never smelled that way ever. So it was definitely new to me. And I thought it was like probably like there's mold under the floor or I don't know, anywhere. Anyway, we prayed every night for the full week or so. My mom would sleep next to me in that room because I couldn't be alone. After that, it felt like she was gone. My dog finally walked into my room and energy was lighter. I didn't feel her there anymore. Wish I could say it was the last time I saw a spirit in that room, but I swear my closet was a portal. A few more would come out at night. One sat by my bed and was right to my face. Another one was walking around my room aimlessly. But they never stayed. It felt like they were all just passing. And that is all.
Okay, how old were you guys?
Like 18, 19, 20. We lived in that house for maybe like 3 years, yeah. I mean, it definitely felt a lot better later on after like the amount of praying in there and stuff. I would hang out in her room after that. Wasn't too bad. Never noticed anything after that. But I didn't know about them still going in her room and bothering her.
Was it a dream that she had where she was like, she's not evil, she's just looking for peace?
That's what she had in her dream. And that she hung herself. Because I remember, I think I told you in like the No Streetlights podcast episode where I felt a hand on my neck as well at one point when I was sleeping. And I heard that someone whisper, it would be a shame.
Oh my God. Ew, I got goosies.
Yeah, me too. That was an experience. Then we moved out of the house. And I won't go too deep into this part, but this is what my friend witnessed when she slept over. She's very, very sensitive, and I will share her story in the next episode. And she slept in the room where usually I would always sleep in, and it's always in my fucking too. I might get this wrong, but I remember a few things that she said. And she saw a figure right in front of her, and it kept saying, abajo, abajo. I'm like, oh.
I don't want to abajo.
I know, no, I don't want to. And my mom was like, maybe we have money under the house.
That's her fucking thing.
That they probably have treasure under their house. That was in the next house that we moved into.
Your mom is just with like what are those things called with the concrete? What are they called?
What? Not the drill. Jackhammer, yes.
She's got a fucking jackhammer in the basement. Don't worry about me, sweetie. I'm just looking for the money.
She will have like the headphones and everything, the earmuffs. Not earmuffs, you know what I'm talking about. The goggles.
Safety first.
She hires like a whole crew the next day too. They're digging up our apartment or the backyard. I could see her doing that. I'm like, shoot, I want to do that too. Like that house. Oh, I don't like sleeping in that room sometimes. It feels so creepy in that room. But yeah, that was my sister's story. Thank you, Kirsten, for sharing your story. I'm sorry you went through that.
Thanks, Betch.
You said thanks, Betch.
Sorry you both went through that. That's awful.
I shut down. I do not shut down. I just refuse to search for any spirit. I don't know. I just don't want to see or hear them ever again.
I don't blame you. The unknown is what scares me the most.
Right.
I can't help it sometimes where I'm like, I feel something. Let me go look. And I hate that about me.
No. No. That's the thing. So Tim, you already know he doesn't believe. He's a huge skeptic, but he wants to. And I always have this theory, like, he's always actively looking. And I think that's his issue. He's always searching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make
And
sense?
and that's why he can't fucking...
They're like, you know what? Out of spite, we're not going to show up.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Fuck you. We're right here, but you can't see us. We're not even going to open or close a door or a drawer. That's all he wants.
They're doing that. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
Imagine they're doing that right now and he doesn't even know it.
Do you think we have time for another story, or should we jump into Goosebumps?
I think we should jump into Goosebumps.
All right, let's do it.
Jumping straight to Goosebumps.
Last time in our Goosebumps, you decided to go to the little club. You get to the house, and Nick tells you to get down. So we got down, and there were cops coming. So here we go. What is it? You cry as your body hits the ground. We've got to be careful, Nick whispers. If anyone catches us going in the front door, we could be in big trouble. We're not really allowed in here. You nod and watch Debbie as she squirms and glances around nervously. You wonder why your new friends are so jumpy. You can't imagine how anyone could possibly see you in the dark. But you figure Nick and Debbie know what they're doing. You stand and follow Nick and Debbie across the porch, keeping as quiet as possible. You pull off the broken boards on the front door. You enter the dark house. The air in the entryway is stale and dusty. You hold back a sneeze. Nick motions for you to follow him. You creep after Nick and Debbie down the dark hallway. The floorboards creak loudly with each step. Then you enter a big, dimly lit living room. A broken chandelier sways from the ceiling. The faded wallpaper hangs in pieces from the walls. Dirty sheets cover what appear to be old sofas and chairs. And then you see him. 4 kids sit in a circle on the living room floor. A big yellow candle flickers in the center. They all turn and stare at you. No one seems happy to see you. You stand awkwardly as Nick introduces you and says, "This is our newest member." "What are you talking about?" cries a girl with short, curly red hair. She glares at you. "I brought a new member to the horror club," Nick repeats. "Not today," exclaims a large boy with bulging arm muscles. "Why not?" Debbie asks, squirming next to you. "Didn't anyone tell you?" asks another girl. "Tonight's the special night. You've got to get that kid out of here. We're not telling stories tonight. The plans have changed." Discover what's happening tonight on page 128. Nick and Debbie quickly leave your side and huddle together with the other kids. You can hear them arguing about you. Then one voice rises above the others. "But today is game day. You know what that means." "I don't," you suddenly call out. You're sick of standing there. You want to know what's going on. It works. All 6 kids stop arguing. The girl with the red hair steps towards you. "I'm Marcy," she tells you. "There are no stories tonight. We're playing games instead. But new members can't play. It's the rule." "Can't you break the rules just this one time?" you ask. "These aren't ordinary games," warns the boy with the large muscles. "These games are scary. Really scary." "Scarier the better," you announce bravely. This starts another argument. Some kids want you to stay and play. Others want you to leave. Debbie hurries over to your side. Through her mane of dark hair, she whispers, "Go home. Go home now." But at that moment, Marcy announces, "It's decided. You can stay and play the games with us." "Great," you say, ignoring Debbie. "What are we playing?" Learn more about the games. The game is called The Hunt, Marcy tells you. I am captain of the blue team. Nick is captain of the red team. You watch as Nick picks Debbie and a skinny boy named Connor to be on his team. Connor has short, bristly hair and a very strange smell. As Connor walks by, you decide he smells as if he's been lying in a dumpster. You just decide it? Like, okay.
That's rude. That's so rude. You know what, Nicole? You probably smell like a dumpster. I decide that. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Thank you, R.L. Stine. For the blue team, Marcy chooses a beautiful girl with long blonde hair and green eyes. Her name is Laura. She smiles shyly at you. Marcy also picks the guy in the muscle shirt. "Hi, I'm Martin," the kid says, pounding you on the back. "Welcome to the horror club." He laughs and flexes his muscles. You step back. Martin's arm is bigger than your whole body. You must be like a fucking twig. That's 3 on each team, Marcy announces. Our new member can join either one. She turns to you. It's up to you. Which team will you join? Would you rather hang out with Nick, Debbie, and Connor on the red team, or get to know Lara, Marcy, and Martin on the blue team? To join the red team, turn to 88. To join the blue team, turn to 33.
The blue team was the muscle guy?
Yeah, Lara, Marcy, and Martin, the blue team.
I choose the muscle guy.
So we're going to do blue team.
He seems funny.
All right. Welcome to the blue team, Marcy says with a smile. Glad you're on the team, Martin adds. He crushes your hand in a hearty handshake. So what are we playing, you ask? The game is called The Hunt, Lara tells you. What are we hunting for, you ask? Marcy's voice drops down to a croaking whisper. The creepiest, most terrifying things we can find. I think is that a croaking whisper? I think it's close enough.
Yeah, it's close.
She's just a frog. Ribbit. We vote on which team finds the scariest stuff, Martin explains. If you haven't chickened out by then, you'll become an official member of the horror club. Don't worry about me, you say. I love a good scare. Come on, Laura says. Let's get this game going. You follow your teammates outside. Marcy goes first. Her flashlight beam bounces around the overgrown yard, making weird yellow shadows. You begin scanning the yard, but Martin stops you. Not here, he says. You're the newest member. You have to pass the test. Test? You don't like the sound of that. Martin grins and points across the street. You go there. The cemetery.
That's a big no-no for me.
Right.
I would bounce.
Unfortunately, you don't get the choice.
Ugh.
They want you to search the cemetery all by yourself. You're about to say, no way, Jose, but then you figure that's just what they expect you to do. You'll show them. Great, you declare. I bet I'll find the winning object. You even kind of mean it. After all, the game is won by finding the scariest stuff. Then your teammates just handed you an easy score. What better place to look than a cemetery? You give your teammates the thumbs up and hurry across the street. The cemetery is really old, and most of the gravestones are chipped and crumbling. As you stumble over a lumpy grave, you feel something grab at your ankle. You yelp and jump back. It was just a gnarled root. The moonlight casts an eerie glow, creating strange shadows. You carefully make your way toward a small building. There's just enough light for you to read the words, Krumpnik Crypt, carved into the stone over the doorway. Here's your chance to impress your new friends. You know you will find something scary inside a crypt, but do you have the nerve to enter?
I have the nerve.
You approach the heavy stone door of the crypt. Instead of the doorknob, it has a thick iron ring. Chiseled into the stone above the ring are these words. Who turns the stone will grow bat bones. What could that possibly mean, you wonder? A sudden movement draws your attention. Near the top of the crypt, you see a small hole, about your size. While you watch, a tiny black bat flies out of the hole and flutters off into the night. Outrageous, you think. Maybe you can catch a bat inside the crypt. That would win the contest, for sure. But how will you get inside? The door is covered with cobwebs. Obviously, it hasn't been opened in a long time. Maybe you could climb to the top of the crypt and crawl in through the hole the bat came out of. Or maybe you should just try to pull the big stone door open. It might work. Which will you try? If you crawl in the hole, page 32. If you try to open the stone door, page 9.
I want to crawl in the hole.
All right. To the hole you go. All right. That's where we end.
Wow. Oh, I can't wait to hear the next one. Ooh. That was fun. This was a fun episode.
This was a fun episode. Yay. How exciting.
Yay. It was really, this one gave me so many goosebumps from Lynn's story and then reading my sister's story. Oh.
I don't like that story at all. Have you ever researched that house?
No, I didn't. I just know people who sold us a house were raising the prices to like $1 million. So I'm like,
Jesus.
What do you guys know that we don't? I'm like, we're not paying $1 million. What?
Why would you raise the price if there's a ghost in it? Wouldn't you like decrease it? What if there's bones in the walls?
Honestly, if you had seen how her closet looked, I always felt like something was under the floor.
Ugh.
Just underneath.
Dude, what if it was like a Horcrux, and it was like her diary. And she's attached to the diary under the thing.
I think after this, I'm gonna research that house.
Yeah. You should definitely research it and see, like, what the fuck is that?
It was in the valley in California, Los Angeles, in the hills. So I think I'm gonna do my research, even ask my sister if she actually ever did research about it, because I feel like she would have. Right? I don't know.
I wonder if, like, the new owners have stories.
Yeah, maybe I should do interviews with them in the future.
Yeah. Just go over to the house. Hello.
I just received like a credit card app that said like they sent my credit card here, and I'm just visiting to pick it up. Anyway, well, shall we close this wonderful spooky episode?
Yeah, let's close it up. What a fun episode that we had. Thanks for listening, you guys. I hope you enjoyed.
Please go follow, share, and leave a review. And if you have your own paranormal experience, send us an email and we will feature you in the next episodes. And you can let us know if you want it to be anonymous or not.
The email, terrorshewrote@gmail.com. So share. Yay.
We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
We'll figure this out eventually.
We're gonna go.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
See you later.